The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf.
Our priority is to move our Utah project, which is about 100,000 ounces of production in Utah, as rapidly into production as we can. It's not just with the political environment and the gold price environment. We're on private land and we're able to permit the mine quite quickly.
Welcome back inside our Proactive newsroom. And joining me now is the Vice President of Corporate Development for Revivalgold, Scott Trebilcock. And Scott, it's great to see you. How are you?
Hey, I'm excellent. Thank you.
I know you've had some recent news out, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But for those not familiar, give me a bit of background on Revivalgold.
So Revivalgold is a domestic U.S. gold company that's trying to restart two brownfield mines in Idaho and Utah. And it's an amazing time to be a gold company.
Yeah, it is. That is true. Yeah. Tell me a bit about the projects themselves. Is there one that you're more focused on than the other?
Our priority is to move our Utah project, which is about 100,000 ounces of production in Utah, as rapidly into production as we can. It's not just with the political environment and the gold price environment. We're on private land and we're able to permit the mine quite quickly. But in the background, we've got an even larger, from a gold ounces perspective, project in Idaho that we're also excited about. So we've got some drills turning there, and it should create a whole mix of news flow for investors.
Okay, let's sort of split them up. Let's talk Utah specifically. Tell me about the work that's been done on the project and where it's at.
So in Utah, we've done a preliminary economic assessment on 1.4 million ounces of gold that should produce about 100,000 ounces per year for 10 years. Excellent economics, low capital cost. We're in a path to permit the project in less than 2 years from today, which is very rapidly advancing for project. That's because we've got infrastructure from past operator, and it's a brownfield site on private land in Utah. So super excited about that. Coming up next will be a pre-feasibility study later in the year.
Yeah. So is that work undergoing right now for the feasibility study?
Yeah, we just we're on the verge of putting out our last few holes. So we got some holes coming out in a couple weeks here in a news release, and that'll be the technical data we need to start working on the PFS. But we'll get the drills turning again here in May to develop all the other kinds of data we'll need to support the engineering of the project.
Okay, let's move over to Idaho. It's the Bear Track Arnett Gold Project, and I know you had some news out recently that you're sort of going to move the focus of that project in a specific direction. So maybe explain to us about the project and where it's headed.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We actually have a well-advanced small heap leach project on the asset, but it's got 4.6 million ounces of gold. There's only about 1 million ounces in that oxide study. So we're actually drilling deeper underneath that shallow oxide project, and we've made a great discovery. We've got about 800,000 ounces of really good grade. So we're down there putting some deeper holes, trying to expand that underground project to put another, some more studied ounces into that project, and to be able to generate some more NPV for the project in the quarters and years to come.
Yeah, and are you working on studies on that one as well, or are you just focused on sort of getting the ounces together first and then moving forward?
Yeah, right now it's about developing more ounces. So we're exploring underground. We're doing some step out holes from our high grade underground at an area called Joss. The drills have got down to the target area, so we'll see how the assays come back. But we're pretty excited.
Yeah. Scott, it seems like the company's in a really strong position right now. You mentioned that the project they have, where they're located as far as state or federal. It sounds like you're in a good position here to really ride this wave that we're seeing.
Oh, absolutely. This is a great time to be in the gold business. And these are great jurisdictions. This is the Great Basin, Idaho, and Utah in the United States, where there's a strong push for redeveloping domestic production of all kinds of minerals. So we've got great shareholders, we've got access to capital. This is the time to be pushing companies forward, and we're excited about creating a lot of value for our shareholders.
All right, Scott, we'll leave it there. It sounds like it's going to be a busy year ahead, and we look forward to following the rest of the story as well. So good to see you. Thanks very much.
Great. Thanks, Steve.
All right, there's Scott Trebilcock, the CEO of Revivalgold.
The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf. It is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, an offer, or a solicitation to buy or sell any securities. Viewers should conduct their own research and consult a qualified financial advisor before making investment decisions. The views expressed are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of Proactive Group Holdings, trading as proactive investors, or its affiliates. No responsibility is accepted for any loss arising from reliance on the information presented.